Welcome in this today's CET lecture. So, in this today's lecture, we'll talk about the phases of growth. Okay, phases of growth. Phases of growth. So student, in this lecture, we are to study the various phases of growth with the help of the germinating seed. Okay, with the help of the germinating seed, when the seed develops the radicle and the plumule. So, for the explanation of the phases of growth, here we consider as per your syllabus or whatever the diagram given in our textbook. That is the how the radicle they shows their growth. Okay, so this is the germinated seed. They produce the radicle and the plumule. They show the growth of the radicle and the plumule. Okay, so this is the plumule. Okay, this is the plumule portion, and all this is the radical portion. Okay, then in this we observed the various phases of growth. Okay, so toward the tip of radical, what we observed the first phase of growth. That is, it is also called as the region of the cell division, or it is also called as the region of cell formation. So we have to say, as per your textbook, it is a zone, okay, zone of the cell division, okay, zone of the cell division, or it is also called as a zone of the cell formation, zone of cell formation. Then just about the zone of cell division, okay, just about the zone of cell division, or just about the zone of the cell formation, the region is, that region it is called as a zone of the elongation, okay, zone of cell elongation, zone of cell elongation. So this is the zone of cell elongation. Then next to that, there is a another region. That region it shows the zone of, okay, zone of cell differentiation, zone of cell differentiation. Then it is followed by the final phase of growth. It is seen. It is called as the zone of the cell maturation. Okay, or that region it is called as a zone of mature cells. Okay, it is a zone of mature, okay, mature cells, zone of the mature cells. So student, when we want to study the phases of growth, we observe the three different phases of the growth. The first growth, first phase, it is the zone of cell division. Okay, this is the first phase. Then the second phase, it is the zone of cell elongation. So this is the second phase. And the third phase, it is the zone of maturation, or the zone of that means the zone of maturation. It is just after the zone of cell differentiation. So together we have to say this is the third region, that is the zone of the mature cells, or the zone of maturation. Okay. So see, these three phases of growth, one by one, what are the changes took place inside these various zones. Okay. See the first zone, it is called as the zone of cell division. Okay, it is a zone of cell division. Okay, cell division, or this zone it is also called as a cell formation. Okay, cell formation. So this zone of cell division, or it is also called as a zone of the cell formation. Then this zone of cell division and zone of cell formation, where it is reported? It is reported at the meristematic region. Okay, at the meristematic region. In previous lecture, there we saw the various sites of meristematic tissue, and on the basis of that site, the three different types of meristems are there. Okay, so at that site, we observed this zone of cell division or the cell formation region. But here, for our understanding, we have to say the zone of the cell division or the zone of cell formation, it is seen more clearly at the shoot apex, okay, shoot apex, and at the root apex, okay, at the root apex. So they are seen at the shoot apex and at the root apex. So you remember this one. So here, whatever the diagram drawn here, in this diagram, what we observed the region of the root apex. Okay, region of the root apex. But in case of the shoot yesterday or in previous lecture, we saw how the apical meristem, they are situated there. Okay, so at that site or here in case of the root here at the root apex, this the zone of cell division, it is situated, or the zone of cell formation, they are situated there. So this, remember, it is seen at the shoot apex and at the root apex. So at this site, the cells are meristematic. Okay, cells are meristematic. So what are the characteristic feature of the meristematic cells? Remember, student, these cells are compactly arranged. Okay, cells are compactly arranged. There is no intercellular spaces. Okay, then they are having the prominent nucleus. Okay, and they are having the granular. We have to say they are having the granular protoplasm. Okay, they are having the granular protoplasm. And remember one more thing: this cell, they never show the vacuole or the vacuole. Okay, vacuole, it is absent. So there is absence of the vacuole. So such a type of the characteristic feature shown by the cells which are situated at the shoot apex and at the root apex. One more thing, the cell wall of this cell, okay, the cell wall, it is very thin. Okay, they are having the very thin cell wall. Okay, they are having a very thin cell wall. So these are the characteristic features of the cell which are situated at the shoot apex and or at the root apex. Because of such a type of the characteristic feature, that cell, they remain active throughout the life of the plant body. So such a active cells, such a group of active cells, these are called as the meristematic cells. Okay, these are called as the meristematic cells. And remember, student, these meristematic cells only reported in case of the plants. They never reported in case of the animals. Okay, so the plant, they shows their continuous growth because of the meristematic region. So remember, at this region, there is a continuous cell formation and the cell division. So actually, what happened? These cells are meristematic. Okay, these cells are meristematic. This cell, okay, means the cells which are situated at the root apex. That cells. Suppose this is the cell, and this cell is a meristematic. Okay, meristematic. So this is the meristematic cell. Then this meristematic cell, they divide. Okay, they divide. They show the division. Whatever division it is, the mitotic division. So after division, how many cells are formed? There is a formation of two cells. Okay, this is one cell. This is another cell. So the two new daughter cells are formed. So remember, student, what happened from these two cells? From these two cells, the one cell remain meristematic. Okay, one cell remain meristematic, and another cell they undergo the enlargement and the differentiation. So this one cell, remember, this one cell, then again they become meristematic. Okay, meristematic, or they remain meristematic, and this formed another cell. They undergo the elongation and differentiation. Okay, elongation and differentiation. Okay, elongation and the differentiation. So remember, student, this is the characteristic feature of the meristematic cells, which are situated at the shoot apex and root apex. So because of this reason, at the shoot apex site, at the root apex site, that site they shows the linear growth. Okay, they show the linear growth. That means that region they shows their growth in height, or because of such activity, the length or the height of that plant body, it is continuously increases. Okay, it is continuously increases. But remember, student, what happened here? As far as this phase of phases of growth is concerned, in that we are talking about the first phase, that is the zone of cell division or the cell formation. Okay, zone of cell division or the cell formation. This phase, so the growth in this phase, the growth is very minimum. Okay, the growth it is the minimum, but the time requirement for such a type of growth is maximum. Okay, time required for such a type of growth is maximum. I will give you the reason at this moment, because remember, at this site, at the zone of cell division or at the zone of cell formation, what happened there? There is a continuous cell division, and the cell division, it is followed by there is the elongation of the formed cell, and it is followed by the differentiation of the formed cell. So for this, the maximum time is required. Okay, maximum time is required, but the growth, it is seen, a very minimum growth is seen as compared to the time requirement. So remember, student, in the zone of cell division or in the cell formation zone, the growth, it is minimum, but the time requirement is maximum. So we have to show this with the help of the graph, which are showing with the help of the actual growth per unit time. Okay, so with the help of that graph, I want to elaborate again how the growth is minimum, but how the time requirement is maximum. Okay, so remember, student. So as per this, the phases of growth, we are seeing the first phase, that is the zone of cell division and zone of cell formation. Okay, then the next phase. Okay, next phase, it is the zone of cell elongation. So let's say the next phase is the zone of cell elongation. So student, see now the next phase, it is the second phase as usual, the zone of cell elongation. Okay, zone of cell elongation. So this zone of cell elongation, but before that, student, one more thing is remain, that is zone of cell division or the zone of cell formation. Okay, zone of cell division or the zone of cell formation. In this, what we conclude there, we conclude the growth, it is minimum, but it shows the maximum time requirement. Okay, so this phase, it is also called as the lag phase. It is also called as the lag phase. Okay, it is also called as a lag phase. Lag phase means it is also in our own English language. we call the fall behind, or it is also called as a move slowly. In the sense, the growth is minimum, but it required the maximum time. So in this zone of cell division or the zone of cell formation, it is also called as a lag phase. So remember, it is also called as a lag phase. Then the next phase, okay, next phase, it is the zone of zone of cell elongation. So let's say the number 2, the zone of cell elongation. So in this zone of cell elongation, okay, the zone of cell elongation, it is also called as the exponential phase, or it is also called as the log phase. It is also called as the exponential phase. Okay, it is also called as the exponential phase, or it is also called as the log phase. Okay, log phase. This phase, it is also called as the exponential phase or log phase, or it is also called as in our own language, it is also called as the increasing phase, or it is also called as increasing phase. Okay, it is also called as an increasing phase. So remember, this is the zone of cell elongation, or it is also called as the exponential phase, or it is also called as the increasing phase. So what happened in the zone of elongation or this increasing phase? Same in this case, the cells, they get elongated. Okay, cells, they get elongated. So elongated in the sense, the cells of this region, they shows the accumulation of the solute. Okay, cells of this region. Okay, it shows the accumulation. Okay, accumulation of solute. Okay, it shows the accumulation of solute. So because of the accumulation of solute, the cell shows the endoosmosis. Okay, it shows the endoosmosis. So because of this endoosmosis, what happened? The cell, they become turgid. Okay, cell, they become turgid. And along with that, what happened? This cell, when they become turgid, and side by side, inside the cell, the vacuole is developed. Okay, inside the cell, the vacuole, okay, vacuole is developed. Okay, vacuole is developed inside the cell. So what happened? Because of the development of the vacuole inside the cell, and when the cell, they become turgid, automatically the size of the cell, they increases. Okay, size of the cell increases, means the lengthwise and the breadthwise, the size of cell increases. Okay, length and the breadth. Okay, length and breadth. Okay, this length and the breadth. Length and the breadth. So the lengthwise and the breadthwise, the size of the cell increases. Okay, size of the cell, it is increases. And the one more thing, in the previous zone, what we saw there, we saw the cells are they are purely meristematic. I mean, they show the very thin cell wall. Okay, they show the very thin cell wall. But here in this the zone of cell elongation, what we observed, the cell wall, they become thick. Okay, cell wall, they become thick. So this cell wall, when they become thick, in the sense how the cell wall they become thick, because of the two processes. Because of the two processes, that process, it is called the opposition and intersusception. Okay, so in this it shows the more deposition of cellulose. Okay, in this phase, the cell shows the more deposition of cellulose. It shows the more deposition of cellulose. But how the cellulose they are deposited more? Remember the first process. It is called as the apposition. Okay, first one it is the apposition. Apposition. So what is the apposition? Apposition means the cellulose they are deposited from the inner side of the previous cellulosic cell wall. So suppose this is the previous cellulosic cell wall. Okay, this is the cell wall. Okay, cell wall. They are having the previous cell wall, or that cell wall it retained from the this zone of cell division or the zone of cell formation. So this is the cell wall, and it is followed by this is the cell membrane. Okay, this is the cell membrane. So what is the apposition deposition of the cellulosic material? That cellulosic material they are deposited from the inner side of the previous cell wall. Okay, inner side of this previous cell wall. When the cellulose is deposited, such a type of deposition it is called as an apposition type of the deposition. Okay. Then the next type of the deposition it is saying it is called as the intersusception. Okay, it is called as the intersusception. Okay, intersusception type of the deposition. Intersusception type of the deposition means INTUSSUCPTION. Intersusception. Okay, INTUSSUCPTION. Intersusception type of deposition. So what is the intersusception type of the cellulose deposition? Okay, what is the intersusception type of the cellulose deposition? Remember, in the intersusception type of cellulose deposition, the cellulose it is deposited in between the previously formed cellulosic cell wall. Okay, they are deposited in between the previously formed cellulosic cell wall. They are deposited. It is called as intersusception. Suppose this is the previously formed cellulosic cell wall. Then the new cellulosic molecule they are deposited inside the previously formed cellulosic cell wall. Such a type of deposition it is called as the intersusception deposition of the cellulosic cell wall. And as usual it is followed by this cell membrane, or this is the plasma membrane. So remember, in the zone of cell elongation, such a type of the changes took place, and because of this, the cell they get elongated. Okay, cells they get elongated. So under this, the zone of this cell elongation means this region. Okay, this region. At this region, the cell they get elongated. So whether all the cells they get elongated, what about the growth? What about the growth? At this site, the growth get accelerate. It shows immediate maximum growth. Okay, it shows immediate maximum growth. In the sense, this zone of cell elongation, it shows the maximum growth. Okay, it shows the maximum growth. Okay, it shows the maximum growth. But remember, student, the time requirement for such a growth it is very low, or the time requirement it is minimum. Okay, time requirement it is the minimum time requirement. So always remember, student, the zone of cell elongation it shows the maximum growth because of the cell elongation. Okay, because of the cell elongation. But remember, they require a very less amount of time, or very few time is required for a such type of growth. What we saw previously, we have seen in zone of cell division, the growth is minimum, but the time requirement is maximum. Okay, but in the zone of cell elongation, what we see here, the growth is maximum, but the time requirement it is minimum. Okay, time requirement it is minimum. So you remember this is the second phase of growth. Then the third phase of growth, it is called as a zone of maturation. In that we observed there is a zone of cell differentiation. Means first there is a zone of cell differentiation, and finally it is a zone of the cell maturation. Remember this. See now the third phase of growth. Okay, third phase of the growth. What is that third phase? The zone of cell maturation. Okay, zone of cell maturation. So word itself indicates the cell maturation, means the cell gets mature. Okay, cell gets mature. So this phase, it is also called as the stationary phase. Okay, this phase, it is also called as stationary phase. Okay, stationary phase. Here, in this, the growth is very slow. Okay, growth, it is very slow. Remember, the growth, it is slow down. Okay, in this phase, the growth slow down. Okay, growth, it is slow down. The growth is very slow. But the time requirement, it is little maximum. Okay, time requirement. Okay, the time requirement, it is little maximum. Okay, time requirement, it is the maximum. So remember student, in this the zone of cell maturation, what happened? The cells, they get mature. Okay, they get mature. First, the cell, all the cells, they get differentiated. Okay, they get differentiated, and it is followed by the cell maturation. Remember student, here what is the cell differentiation? The cell differentiation means from this meristematic cell. Okay, from this meristematic cell, there is a formation of the parenchyma cell. There is a formation of this sclerenchyma cell. Okay, parenchyma cells, sclerenchyma cells, collenchyma cells. Then the various types of the cells, they are formed. It is called as a cell differentiation. Okay, cell differentiation means you know that there is a formation of the epidermal cell. It is followed by there is a formation of the cortical cells. The cortical cells, it is followed by there is a formation of the endodermal cells. Okay, there is a formation of the pericycle cells, and finally the cell get differentiated. And what they form? They form the cells of the xylem tissue and the cells of the phloem tissue. So such a type of the formation of various types of the cells, we call it is the cell differentiation. And when the cell, they get differentiated, what happens? It is followed by the cell maturation. Okay, cell maturation. So this cell, when they get differentiated, all the cells, differentiated cells, they mature there. Okay. So when there is a cell differentiation and the maturation, automatically the growth, it is slow down. We never observe the maximum growth there, but for the time requirement is a little maximum, in the sense there will be a requirement of the time for the cell differentiation or for the formation of the various types of the cell. But at this site, the growth, we never observe the maximum growth. So you remember this one. This so these are the three different phases of the growth. So these three different phases of the growth we can represent graphically. So let's say the graphical representation of these three different types of the growth, or these three different phases of the growth. So let's say the graphical representation of the three different types of the phases. So let's see, this is the y-axis, okay, and this is the, as usual, this is the x-axis. Let's take a time, okay, time on the x-axis, okay, and the growth, okay, growth on the y-axis, okay. Then what type of the graph obtain with respect to these three phases of the growth? We have the sigmoid curve, okay, we have the sigmoid curve, sigmoid, okay, sigmoid curve. So the sigmoid growth curve we observed when we plot the graph considering these three phases of the growth. So let's see the how that the sigmoid curve is obtained. So this is the first phase. This phase it is also called as a lag phase. Okay, this is the lag phase. So in this lag phase, what is included, student? We are seeing this is the lag phase. It includes the zone of cell division and zone of cell formation. Okay, so this is the lag phase. Then so this up to this point we have to say this is the lag phase. Okay, then from this up to this point, okay, up to this phase it is called as the second phase. Okay, the second phase, it is also called as exponential phase, or it is also called as a log phase. So this is the log phase, or it is also called as a exponential phase. Exponential phase. Okay, and this phase from this side, this phase it is called as a it includes the zone of maturation, or it also includes the zone of cell differentiation. This phase it is also called as the stationary phase. So this is the stationary phase. Okay, this is the stationary phase. Let's see, student, what is the time requirement per growth with respect to these different phases of growth? See, in the lag phase, means lag phase include the zone of cell division and zone of the cell formation. It shows the minimum growth. Okay, it shows the minimum growth. See the growth on. Okay, it shows the minimum growth. But see, the time requirement, it is maximum. Okay, so the time requirement, it is maximum. Okay, time requirement, it is maximum. So see, this is the minimum growth. So for the formation of this minimum growth, the maximum time is required. Okay, maximum time is required. But in case of the log phase, in case of this log phase, or it is also called as the exponential phase, this log phase or exponential phase, they include the zone of cell elongation. Okay, this second, the zone of cell elongation, because of the accumulation of the granular protoplasm. The cell shows endoosmosis, cell become turgid, and that cell, they have to develop the vacuole inside, and there is also an addition of the cellulosic material. What happened? The cell gets elongated. Okay, we saw there. So because of the cell elongation at that site, that plant part, they show the maximum growth. So the growth is maximum. So how much growth is seen? So this much amount of growth is seen. Okay, so the growth, it is maximum. So the maximum growth, it is seen. Okay, so this much growth it is seen. But see, the time requirement is very minimum. The time requirement. So see, this is the time requirement. When we they draw a perpendicular on this x-axis, see, this time requirement, it is minimum. Okay, time requirement, it is minimum. So always remember, for the log phase or the exponential phase, it shows the maximum growth. Okay, it shows the maximum growth, but for that the time requirement is minimum. Okay, time requirement it is minimum. So you always remember while representing this type of the graphical, you have to remember what is the growth with respect to the time requirement. So question will be asked on this as far as your the seat levels are concerned, okay, or the neat levels are concerned. So you always remember. Then the next one, the next phase, it is a stationary phase. This stationary phase, remember, the growth it is the very minimum growth. Okay, the growth it is the minimum growth. So say this growth it is minimum. Growth it is the minimum, but the time requirement here, what happened in this stationary phase, there is a cell differentiation. Okay, there is a cell differentiation, and it is followed by the cell maturation. So for the student, the maximum time is required, but there the growth is not same. The maximum growth is not same. So there is a minimum growth. It is seen during the stationary phase, but the time requirement it is maximum. Okay, so the time requirement it is the maximum. So remember, student, these are the various phases of growth, and we have to represent that growth graphically. It shows the typical sigmoid growth curve, and with the help of that sigmoid growth curve, we saw what is the growth with respect to time requirement. So now we will see about the conditions of growth. Okay. So what are the conditions for growth? So for the growth of the particular plant part, what are the conditions necessary? Okay. So the conditions are near about the 6 conditions are required. I mean, the water is required, gravitational force is required, then the nutrients are required, temperature is required, then there will be availability of the oxygen, and the light is required. So let's see the first one, the water. So the water it is required. This water, as usual, the water is required. In the sense, you know that why the water is required. The water, they maintain the turbidity of the cell. Okay, they maintain the turbidity of the cell, and you know that the water it acts as a component of the protoplasm, and no doubt it acts as a medium for the various biochemical reaction. So water, they plays a most important role as far as the growth of the plant body is concerned. Okay, so instead of water, the plant they are unable to show their growth. The cell they never become turbid. The metabolic reaction they immediately slow down, and it will immediately affect over the growth of that plant. So there is the necessity of the water requirement. Then the gravitational force. This gravitational force they decide the growth of the shoot and the root. Okay, they decide the direction of growth of the shoot and the root. You know that the growth of the shoot, okay, the growth of the shoot, because of this gravitational force, they decide the growth of the shoot apex and the root. The root they grow downward away from the light, and the shoot, the growth of the shoot, it is takes place against the gravitational force, means toward the light. Okay, so this gravity, they plays a most important role as far as the growth of that plant body is concerned. Then the next one, the nutrients. You know that, student, the nutrient means there is a requirement of the major and minor elements. Okay, we have seen in previous topic, where we saw there in the previous topic, there is a requirement of the nutrients. Okay, there is a requirement of the nutrient. The major nutrient and the minor nutrient, they are required. In the sense, in our total, the macronutrient means 10 macronutrients are required, and the 6 micronutrients are required, and these 16 nutrient elements, they are required for the normal growth of the plant. Then the next thing is here there is a requirement of water, the necessity of the gravitational force, and then next to that there is a requirement of the nutrient, and it is followed by there is a requirement of the temperature. So for the proper enzymatic reactions, how much temperature is required? Near about the 25 to 35 degree temperature, okay, the 25 to 35 degree temperature, it is required for the normal and healthy growth of the plant. So you remember, and the next after this the temperature, there is a requirement of the oxygen. So why the oxygen is required? The oxygen is required for the respiration. So for the respiration, okay, respiration, the oxygen is required. Okay, oxygen is required for the respiration. Then what is the role of this respiration? You know that because of the respiration, there will be a release of the energy. Okay, for release of energy. Okay, for release of energy, the respiration process is necessary, and in that respiration process, the oxygen is required. Okay, oxygen it is required. You know that the substrate means, suppose I want to show you the respiration process. That respiration process you are seeing, that respiration process in 11th. So there. What happened in the respiration? Carbonate C6 H12O6 plus there is a requirement of the oxygen molecule, means the 6 molecules of oxygen. In the presence of that, what is formed? Okay, what is formed? There is a formation of the carbon dioxide and the water, means the 6 molecules of CO2 plus 6 molecules of water, and there is a release of the energy. So how much energy is released from the single glucose molecule? Remember student, the energy released, it is the 686 kilocalorie energy is released from the single glucose molecule when they undergo the oxidation in the presence of the molecular oxygen. So oxygen, they plays a most important role as far as the generation of energy is concerned. Okay, as far as the generation of energy is concerned, and this energy, it is utilized for the growth of that plant body. Okay, so this fifth condition, there will be a necessary amount of oxygen in the atmosphere. The plant shows the maximum growth. Then there is a requirement of light. Okay, there is a requirement of light. You know that at what time the light is required. The light, why there is a requirement of the light? Because in the presence of light, the plant shows the process of photosynthesis. That means the carbon dioxide, they reacts with water molecule in the presence of light and chloroplast. What is formed? There is a formation of carbohydrate with release of the water molecule, and along with that, it also shows the release of oxygen. Okay, and so the photosynthesis process is most important for the synthesis of the food material. So the light is necessary. So remember, these 6 factors are required for the normal and healthy growth of the plant. So student, with this we will stop here at this moment.